sort of switching gears a little bit, I guess, is kind of maybe doubling back to the academic journey question a little bit again, and kind of revisiting that idea. So this is actually one of my favorite questions because of the impact that education has had on our journey. I've got a particular set of classes and courses in college that were sort of eureka moments for me that kind of, I said to myself, very memorably, wow, this is why college is important and this is why I'm here, sort of where things all came together. I kind of came with a new worldview, totally new perspective, and something that was more of a transformational experience rather than just a transactional box checking type of activity. So I was just curious, what moment or moments stick out in your mind as you went through your education, sort of say, aha.
This would be back at JU. Dr. Ted Allen was the pre-med student advisor. And, JU is small enough that you pretty much stay with the same academic advisor throughout. So, and I've never been able to call him Ted. I can't. I cannot. So Dr. Allen, as the pre-med advisor, you plan out your, what do we have? Make a plan, map. You map out your courses and which semester, fall semester, spring semester, summer term, and so forth. And Dr. Allen taught general biology. So that was the first class I had with him. As a 17-year-old college freshman, totally out of her element. Academics were fine, and playing, golf practice. It was just a really busy and hectic and scary and wonderful time. So general biology with Dr. Allen. And then he also taught embryology and ornithology. And I know that sounds like he went to University of Florida, so there's a whole bunch of Gator connections,
which is still
fine. But just a wonderful scientist and lecturer. I don't even know if he's still alive, because I know he promoted to Professor Emeritus. Anyway, that combination of classes, and I know it sounds really, really strange, but general biology and then embryology and ornithology, it all made sense. Now, at the time, I was still pre-med. I was still, I can use this information from, chickens, anatomy, and immunology was also thrown in there, and lots of microscope skills. So he really, 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 I kind of hated him at times, but he really pushed the microscope skills. And then that combination of academics, and then we went out in the field for ornithology, and it was just eye-opening, absolutely. And I still, to this day, can remember some of his field exams. And this was, now I can look back and it doesn't hurt, but at the time it was painful. It was a very difficult exam because all you had was a 3x5 index card, something to write with, and your binoculars. And I swear to you, this was right on the St. Johns River. There's a flock of birds flying north away from us. And he's like, oh, that's number 6. And we're like, what the hell? And I know what they are now, because he told us. And I see them all the time. They are white ibis. And they have beautiful reddish pink bills and beautiful reddish pink feet. And the juveniles are kind of a brownish gray, and the adults are this beautiful glistening white. And these suckers were flying away from us, probably at least a quarter to a half a mile. And there must have been at least 50 of the birds. And I'm like, okay, well, I just missed that one. Thanks. But that was the kind of thing where, he could listen to something up in the treetops, up in the canopy. Unfortunately, this was when JU was far more wooded on the property. And they had the golf course and down by the river, and living in a van down by the river. But just the creativity of how he would teach and then give us exams. I've never ever seen. I would love to try it.
Yeah.
But I don't think how well it would go over with our students. So Dr. Ted Allen, and then Dr. Bill Robertson was evolution and genetics, and that was my first exposure to fruit flies and culturing fruit flies and doing fruit fly crosses and the smell. The smell of the fly nap.
The blue media and
the blue baby food and the little I won't say maggots, the little larvae. My students freak out about that. But the smell of the fly nap and the smell of the blue food medium for the flies. I mean, those are impactful memories.
Yeah.
And then organic chemistry. Who do I have for organic chemistry? Dr. Lee Porter, who has since passed away from cancer. He was a plant-based natural products organic chemist from California. He was a weird dude, but he hooked me on NPR Science Friday, so that's a good thing. But just the smells of being in organic lab and the soxhlet extraction of clove oil, the clove right around Thanksgiving, Christmas time, and the way it sounded with the extractors and the ding ding ding, and then just the smell of the eugenol benzoate from cloves. I would say those three were very impactful, but not necessarily for what we did in the classroom, but for their creativity, and all three of them were funny as hell. And then I started looking back and say, yep, they had exactly the same stories, and now I tell the stories of this graduate school professor or this graduate school professor or this, or it's just incredible how it comes full circle. So the creativity in the lab, creativity in the classroom, the problem solving, the ability to absolutely trash an experiment and have nearly zero product from an organic synthesis. And then you use your bad language and you start again the next day.
I love that paradigm, that theory meets practice paradigm, and solve the problem. And it's funny, I think that's one of our challenges. I don't know if I'm speaking for you or not, but getting away from the expectation that okay, I'm going to follow the recipe, and after 45 minutes I'm going to have the result, and I'm going to move on to the next thing. And sort of breaking that and kind of getting more into the experimentation mindset and the let's troubleshoot it and problem solve it and make it work.
Yeah, there's not really eureka. It's more like, oh crap.
There's another one we could throw
There's a
in
lot of the crap or the oops moments. And there's no recipe. I mean, you start with, say, a microbiology Bergey's manual or microbiology media, and you run it through the autoclave. And sometimes you have to troubleshoot the autoclave because it's not sterilizing properly, or the water bath is leaking or corroded, and then you have to find creative, duct tape fixes a lot of things. And what is it? The great stuff that you spray, that works on a lot of different things. But there's no recipe.